Hi guys, my name is Adriana. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on this look here that I created using the new Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette. Now if you guys are subscribed to my channel, you already know I'm doing a giveaway in which you get to win this palette as well as some other goodies. So I will link that video down below. Here's the palette if you have not yet seen it. It's fantastic. I love it. So if you are interested in recreating it for yourself, please just keep watching and leave those comments down below. Let's get started. We are going to start with Milani's Prime Shield. This is one of my favorite face primers for oily skin and reducing the look of pores. So this just gets placed in areas where I tend to have enlarged pores and increased oil production throughout the day. This stuff glides on so smooth. I just absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. Drugstore, very affordable. After primer, I'm going to move on to my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is in the shade Golden. I mixed this with my NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. This is in the shade Buff. I mixed these two together because my Too Faced foundation is a little too light for my skin right now, plus I love full coverage. So I just squeeze a little dab of the Too Faced Born This Way onto my Dampen Beauty Blender, add a drop of the NYX Total Control Foundation, and I'm going to buff that into the skin. Tap, 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 tap. Lovely. There's nothing better than a full coverage foundation. The mix of these two together is one of my absolute favorite flawless foundation techniques. I'm just in love. So after we have that all buffed nice and beautifully into the skin, yep, just keep patting it on in there, all gorgeous. Yes. Then we are going to move on to highlighting. So I'm going to take my new Mally concealer. This is something I just recently picked up. This is in the shade Medium. I absolutely adore it. It is so fantastic and thick and rich and creamy. It is fantastic for my skin type. Anytime I have anything that's too thin, because I have oily skin, it kind of tends to slip and slide throughout the day, no matter how much Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder I use. So this is a fantastic formula for me. I take this little Real Techniques mini sponge. I think these are actually marketed to be able to kind of clean up your eye makeup, but they just fit perfectly for me, right up underneath the eyes there to kind of blend in my highlighter. Also add a little bit of highlight to the chin, the forehead, and right down the middle of the nose. I'm going to use the exact same little Real Techniques sponge to dab that in. Always, always, always blend well. Blend it. Blend it. Just pat that in right across the top of the eyebrows. I don't highlight too much of my forehead because my forehead is monstrous and I really don't need to draw any more attention to it. So that just goes across the top of the eyebrows. Ooh, pat that in real well. Down the bridge of the nose. Beautiful. Nice. And then we're going to move on to my Jordana Sculpt and Go. This is a contour stick, so this just goes right underneath the cheekbones on both sides of the face, obviously. I also add a bit to the forehead and down the sides of the nose. I have an in-depth highlight and contour tutorial that you can go check out if you'd like. I use this little Tarte. It's like a fan brush on one end. I forget the exact name of this brush. It doesn't have a number. It's like Tarte Sculpt and Define brush, something along those lines. I picked it up at Ulta, but I really like it. It's the perfect shape. It's nice and soft. It is fantastic for blending in your contour or adding highlighter to your cheekbones. So I'm going to blend down the forehead, and then I'm going to turn it around and use this tiny edge on the other side to blend my nose contour. Next, we're going to set, of course, the highlighter with my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder, and this is an IT Cosmetics brush. This is the number 108. I don't bake, I just use a tiny, tiny bit of powder. This is Makeup Revolution. This is their Ultra Brow Kit. I use this and the NYX Micro Brow Pencil to do my brows. We're going to just jam with it. You see this? Bam! Done. I do have an in-depth brow tutorial. If you would like to see it, you can find that as well. This is Too Faced Shadow Insurance. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow primers. I absolutely love this stuff. Switch back and forth between this and the Urban Decay Primer Potion quite frequently. So I'm just going to pat this into the eyelids. And then I'm going to take my Sephora brush. This does not have a number. It's just a shadow brush. This stuff is fantastic for applying shadow from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone. So what we are going to do is we are going to dip into the pretty pink shade here, Creamed Honey. And I'm going to blend that from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone to kind of cover where we've got the tacky primer, set a nice base, and it's very nice and it has a subtle sparkle, so it's not too overly dramatic, and it makes everything easier to blend right on top. Blend it on out all the way up to the brow bone. This is the Japanese 232 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes for sticking colors into my crease. So I'm going to stick that Japanese brush into the shade Peanut Butter, which is a nice nutty brown that's just going to be fantastic for using as a transition shade. So I'm going to blend that into the crease and blend it up towards the brow bone, but not as far up as we brought the shade Creamed Honey. Then next I'm going to take my Sephora brush. This is the number 86, their Pro Bullet Crease. This brush is excellent for sticking colors into your crease as well. I'm going to dip this into the darker shade Going Nuts. This is such a pretty, rich shade. And I'm going to blend that into the crease as well, focusing it mostly on the outer corners, bringing it into the inner corner, but I'm going to focus the majority of the color right there in the outer corner. This is going to give us a beautiful smoky look. I'm going to take my Elizabeth Mott blending brush. I'm just going to blend on in there, make sure there's no harsh lines. Everything blends seamlessly and looks fabulous. I'm then going to take my Real Techniques little shading brush and dip it into the color Honey Brittle. And I'm going to pat that right over top of Creamed Honey onto the lid. I'm actually doing is mixing the shades Honey Brittle and Creamed Honey together, layering them one on top of another. They kind of become transparent, blends the color together beautifully. Next, I take an e.l.f. eye crease brush. You can get this at the drugstore. Dip it into the color Bee's Knees. I'm going to place that right over top of that shade Peanut Butter in my inner crease. I'm going to take that same Real Technique shading brush and dip it back into the color Creamed Honey and layer this over top of Honey Brittle. Then I'm going to take the Sephora. This is their number 11, their Pro Smudge brush. I dip this into the color Going Nuts, and we're going to apply this to the lower lash line. This brush is my absolute favorite brush for applying shadows to the lower lash line. It fits perfectly, does exactly what you need it to do, makes it look nice and smoky, and you can't mess up when you're using this brush. So we're going to use these Eyelure number 205 lashes. I believe these are from the Dramatic series. Of course, my Tarteist Pro lash adhesive. I'm going to take this little Wet n Wild brush. I know I'm winging through it, guys. I'm sorry. And this is my NYX Gel Eyeliner. It's one of my favorite brushes if you are trying to apply eyeliner. If you struggle the way I struggle when I'm applying eyeliner. This is IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. We're going to wing this onto the lashes. By the way, I did already apply the lash adhesive to the lashes and set them down. I like to go ahead and apply liner and mascara while I'm waiting for the lash adhesive to get tacky on my lashes so that they are easy to go ahead and apply. I'm going to take my Too Faced Candlelight Glow. This is one of my favorite highlighters. It is so pretty. Little drugstore fan brush here, and apply this highlighter to the top of my cheekbones. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that highlight though. Oh, it's beautiful. Tiny bit applied to the Cupid's bow and down the bridge of the nose. Then I'm going to move on to this blush. This is Milani. This is their Coral Cove Powder Blush, number 5. And my Real Techniques blush brush. And dust that onto the apples of the cheeks and swing it back towards the hairline. Now we can go ahead and apply the falsies now that they've sat for ages and gotten nice and tacky. So I just fast forwarded through this part so you guys can kind of see how I stick them on there. I swear my hand isn't steady enough to do this, but I always manage. Then of course, you have to finish with your MAC Fix Plus spray or other setting spray of your choice, and you look fabulous. I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to click that link down below so that you can find the rules to the giveaway so you can win your own Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette and recreate this look for yourself. Until next time, bye guys.